Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. As you probably gathered from that little teaser intro there, what we're about today is comparing a couple of pedals. Pedals that claim to be Marshall amp in a box kind of tones, if you like. I've reviewed both pedals separately before, and I'll dig out some links to put in the description. But namely, we're looking at this, the TC Electronic JIMS45 pedal, which I've done a few videos with now. I've had this for quite a while. If you want one of these, it'll cost you about £100. And a recent acquisition, this Universal Audio Lion pedal, which is one of these will cost you about £300. I think Guitar have got them in for £299. This one was loaned to me by a very generous chap called Ian, and I really liked it, so we came to a mutually agreed arrangement on that allowed me to keep this pedal. Yes, so I'm quite pleased with that. It's there's a shiny new toy in the box. Now, before you start mithering me in the comments, I will just say that yes, I know I'm not comparing apples with apples here. This TC Electronic pedal purports to give you a Marshall JTM45 tone, whilst this one, the Lion pedal, is all about the 68 Super Elite, a plexi tone basically. So, what's the point in comparing a pedal that sounds like one Marshall amp with a pedal that sounds like a different Marshall amp? Why would you compare those? You're not comparing like with like. Well, first reason is because I thought it would be fun, and that's what I'm doing here, making these videos essentially, is, doing stuff that I find entertaining, and hopefully it will be, that will be passed on to the viewer. But there's a serious reason here as well, which is that although they're not, giving the same kind of tone, and you'll hear that in the demo shortly, what they both do is produce a Marshall-esque tone, as opposed to a Fender-y tone or a Vox tone or a Boogie type tone. And if you're looking for that kind of Marshall grunt to fit on your pedal board, maybe you're playing it into just an interface like I do, or maybe you're going into some sort of neutral sounding pedal platform amp, and you've got the other tones that you need, the Fender or the Vox or whatever, already sorted, but you're lacking that hint of Marshallness for when the need arises, then, which one of these is the better option? That's kind of where I'm going with that. I tell you what it's a bit like. It's a bit like you've got two pizza shops in town, in Redcar. Well, there's more than two, but the ones we regularly use are called Marco's or Supremos. You might get a pepperoni from one and you might get a ham and mushroom from the other. But even though you're not comparing like with like, you can still get an idea of who does the better pizza. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about here. Anyway, I'm waffling a bit, so I'm going to cut straight to the chase now. Let's hear both pedals in a mix, the usual sort of demo tune format, and you can hear for yourself how they sound.
And now, a message from our sponsor.
Hello chaps, I just want to butt in here for a second to let you know that if you're enjoying these videos, you can get them weeks, if not months in advance by signing up for the Tier 2 level of my Patreon membership. Tier 1 at $3 a month gets you access to the tabs and jam tracks and so on that accompany the YouTube videos when they go out on YouTube. But if you can't wait and you want early access, Tier 2 is what you need. $6 a month, you get early access to the videos and any associated tabs and so on. Plus you also get a twice monthly at the moment, although I'm looking to make it a little bit more frequent, Zoom hangout with me and the other Tier 2 chaps. If you're not interested in an ongoing financial regular commitment each month, then fear not, you can also purchase individual pieces of content, a tab or a jam track or anything like that for $3 a pop. No ongoing commitment, no nothing. You can just buy it and it's yours to keep. And I think that's covered everything, so that's the shilling done with. Now back to the show. So what did we learn from that little comparison? Well, I think we can conclude that this pedal really does do that JIMS45 thing brilliantly well. It's got that somehow pleasant nasal honk that you don't normally associate the words pleasant and nasal together, but for some reason the JIMS45 tone, yeah, they do kind of sit nicely together. Yeah, great classic JIMS45 tone for £100. And this one does the plexi thing absolutely beautifully. While after I finished doing that little demo there, I still had this one hooked up, and I found myself just sitting there playing all kinds of classic Thin Lizzy and AC/DC riffs with a big daft grin on my face. Incidentally, the parts of that tune where you saw both pedals being used on the same guitar part, it wasn't that one was being sort of daisy chained into the other, or one pedal going into another. I basically double tracked those guitar parts and panned them left and right, one part with this pedal and the other part with this one, just to kind of show what they sounded like together, really. But you still got enough separation so you could hear what they were doing individually. I didn't use different settings on either of the two pedals. I just set both of them up for the gruntiest, gainiest tone that I needed, and then just cleaned things up from the guitar's volume control, as is my preference for doing things. I have played through both of the real versions of these amps in the past, JIMS45 and a Plexi, but I've never played through them both with the same guitar on the same day, on the same tune. And what that really did, just that comparison there, was really bring home the fact that, oh yeah, they do sound quite different, although, well, different in the sense of, as I say, a pepperoni pizza is different from a ham and mushroom. There's more of a difference that you perceive when you just play one and then a few weeks later you play through another. I've done tests in the past where I've A/B'd the JIMS45 pedal against my usual settings on the Blue Guitar Amp 1. And whilst I love the sound of this pedal, in fact I would say that if you're looking to get that sort of Beano Eric Clapton tone, then one of these and a guitar with a set neck and a pair of humbuckers will probably get you as close as makes no difference at all, I would say. Now, there's an idea for a video. Watch this space. As I say, I've compared this with my usual Blue Guitar Amp 1 in the past, and whilst I love this pedal, I always gravitate back towards the Blue Guitar Amp 1. With this one, though, I'm not so sure. I'm going to do a video where I'm A/B'ing this against the Blue Guitar Amp 1. And I think looking down at the Blue Guitar Amp 1 on the desk there, it looks like it's got a bit of a sweat on, because I mean, this is 3 times the price of the other one. If I was on a budget, and the JIMS45 was all I could afford, and I wanted that Marshall tone, then that's what I would go for. So that's what I would say is, if you've got a pedal that gives you the Fender and tone, or the pedal that gives you the Vox tone, you basically got your other tones sorted and dialed in, but you're lacking that Marshall thing, and you just want something that will get you there and get you in that ballpark. Spend £100 on one of these. But if you're really, really if you are just like I am, a bit blinkered, I will admit, when it comes to the guitar tones, you're like, I'm all about the Marshall and the Plexi kind of thing, then, just save up a bit longer and get one of these, and it could easily be, I could imagine it being my main guitar tone generating engine, if you like. So, yes, watch out for the A/B test between this and the Blue Guitar Amp 1. And there you have it. That is my comparison between the TC Electronic JIMS45 and the Universal Audio Lion pedal. Make of it what you will. I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon and any of the other ways, all of which are linked down in the description. You'll find all the tabs for the videos and jam tracks and stuff, as I said earlier, up there. So thank you to everyone who supports me there. Much appreciated. And don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time. We drink beer and have a chat because it's the weekend. It's a great way to kick things off, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.